Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of Marquette in Motion. We're your hosts, Hallie Kilberg
and Miranda Peters. On this Veterans Day weekend, we'd like to take a moment to extend a sincere thank you to all of our veterans and active servicemen and women. We are so appreciative of all you've done and do to keep our country safe and to uphold our liberties.
In just a bit, Miranda and I will be sharing some Quiz Bowl questions, but here's one related to Veterans Day to get you started.
Veterans Day originated as Armistice Day on November 11th, 1919, which was the first anniversary of the end of World War I. In 1926, Congress passed a resolution for an annual observance of the date, but November 11th did not become a national holiday until what year?
Well, we'll have the answer for you in just a bit, along with a few more Quiz Bowl questions. Here's another question for you. When will Marquette be hosting its annual chicken dinner featuring Kelmus's famous roasted chicken?
The answer is tomorrow, November 11th, and Justina will be here to tell you all about it.
The guys will be here with the weekly report on the Marquette sports results.
Luke will be here with his interview segment, Meet Marquette, and will be interviewing our priest, Father Dennis Miller.
And Macy Kramer will be here looking ahead.
As Macy and Amy shared last week, today marks the season's first Quiz Bowl tournament.
Marquette's team traveled to Easton Valley this morning for the Tri-Rivers Conference Quiz Bowl tournament. And in light of this, we'd like to play a little game with you.
Let's see if you've got what it takes to succeed in Quiz Bowl. Get your buzzers ready, listeners. We're just about to let the game begin.
Now, earlier we asked the year that Veterans Day was made a national holiday. The answer? 1938. If you got that one correct, give yourself 10 points.
For 10 points, name this city founded by the brother of Remus.
And that answer would be Rome. Okay, here we go. This book took Russian author Leo Tolstoy 6 years to write and had the original title, The Year 1805. The story focuses on Napoleon's invasion of Russia and boasts over 587,000 words. What is the name of this book?
The answer is War and Peace.
All right, listeners, total up your points. But no matter what you get, know that you're still a winner in our book.
And finally, for the bonus question. This man is one of the most famous American inventors. At the time of magazines and newspapers, he had the most recognizable face in the world and was responsible for the word hello on the telephone. For 10 points, name this man who invented the phonograph, movie camera, and the light bulb.
And that answer is Thomas Edison.
Speaking of Thomas Edison,
on Monday, November 5th, students in grades K through 5 gathered in the MEC to meet Thomas Edison. Hank Ficken, a one-man show, brought the inventor to life. He also shared the importance of cultivating curiosity, observation, and tenacity. The program was sponsored by the Dubuque Arts Council and Marquette's PTO.
And now here's a word from our sponsors. Stay tuned, more Marquette in Motion after the break.
Welcome back to Marquette in Motion. Here now is Justina Dellinger telling us all about tomorrow's chicken dinner.
Are you hungry for Kelmus's chicken this weekend? Well, you're in luck. Tomorrow, Marquette Student Council will host its annual chicken dinner. This year, the event will take place on Marquette's campus as the meal will be held at the Trinity Center, rightly named as that one area is used as a gym, cafeteria, and gathering space. Serving for the chicken dinner will begin at 11, which is perfect for anyone who likes an early dinner or anyone who will be attending 10:15 Mass. If you prefer to eat dinner later, good news for you too, as serving continues until 1:30 p.m. Once again, the menu consists of Kelmus's famous roasted chicken, mashed potatoes and gravy, applesauce, corn, green beans, a roll, dessert, and a beverage. Tickets at the door will be $10 for half a chicken and $8 for a fourth of a chicken. A child's meal is available for $5 for those 10 years old and under. We hope to see you there. For Marquette in Motion, this has been Justina Denlinger.
Thanks, Justina. Up next are the guys with the sports report.
Thanks, girls. The Marquette girls who participated in the state solo dance competition on November 3rd all received second division ratings. Macy Heim had the highest score of Marquette girls, falling short of Division I ranking by only 2 points.
Speaking of state results, Tori Mickle took part in the state swimming on November 2nd and 3rd. At this meet, Tori took part in 4 different events.
She placed 9th in the 200-yard medley relay, 14th in the 100-yard butterfly, 9th in the 200-yard freestyle relay, and 11th in the 100-yard backstroke.
Congratulations, Tori, on another fantastic year of swimming.
In winter sports news, the girls' basketball team will begin their season with a game against Waller, Monday, November 19th.
And with boys starting practice this upcoming Monday, it seems that winter sports are nearly in full swing.
Speaking of basketball, why don't we take a slight jog back into the record books for Marquette basketball? First of all, the longest win streak in boys basketball history took place in the 2005 to 2006 season with 27 wins.
For individuals, the most points scored by a player in a game was 62, scored by Robbie Sieverding. Robbie also holds the record for most career points with 1,957 points.
On the girls' side, the most wins girls have had in one season is 24. This was achieved in both the 2002-2003 season and the 2003-2004 season.
On the individual side here, the most points scored in a season is 537, held by Marissa Schrader, and the highest season shooting percentage by an individual sits at 63.1%, held by Miranda Heyer.
We'll be back here next week. For Marquette in Motion, this has been Jeb Schwager
And Garrett Krieg
with your Marquette Sports Report.
Thanks, guys. And just for the record, we'll be back with more Marquette in Motion after the break.
Welcome back to Marquette in Motion. Here now is Luke Keys interviewing Father Dennis Miller.
Hello, listeners. This is Luke Keys for Marquette in Motion. You're listening to this segment in which we call Meet Marquette. Today I'll be interviewing our new father, Father Dennis Miller. Thank you for being here.
Great to be here, Luke. Thanks.
Now, just to start off, what made you want to become a priest?
It's something I've thought about since I was about in 7th grade, although there were definitely periods in my life where it was the last thing I ever wanted to do. But a priest, when I was about a sophomore in high school, really had a big influence in my life and told me that it's something that I should really think about. So that's the main reason why I headed off to Loras College instead of where I always thought I was going to end up in life, which is Iowa State University.
And so I know you have taken on a teaching role at Marquette. I am in your class. You were teaching the senior theology. Now, can you tell us what you teach and how it's going?
Sure. I made the mistake when I visited here and visited my predecessor, Father Cruzy, of saying that it was a goal in a year or so to teach. I like to use goals. And next thing you know, Father Cruzy called up Mr. Kaiser, and Mr. Kaiser said, "Oh, well, why don't we have you teach senior theology with my wife?" And so it's our goal to do something called apologetics, which sounds either strange, like an apology, or defensive, if you know what the word means. But really what it is being able to explain what Catholic Church teaching is all about, and having a deeper understanding than a surface level of why the Catholic Church teaches what it does.
What are some things that you'd like to bring here to Marquette?
I'm honestly walking in with pretty open hearts, with a open heart, not many hearts. I would like, an honest sense of Catholic identity, that even if you're not Catholic and you attend Marquette, that you know why the Catholic Church believes what it does. And not, because I know a lot of people who get done with a Catholic school, graduate, and go on and have a kind of chip on their shoulder about Catholic education and all of the stereotypes of mean nuns and priests and all that kind of stuff. But to have a good experience, but to also have an intellectual experience of religion and of the faith and how it interacts with and doesn't contradict other truths.
Going off of that, what's one thing you'd like people to know about the Catholic Church or about the Catholic faith in general?
The Catholic Church is one of the largest charitable organizations in the world. I think there's this perception that all we do is sit around and pray all the time, but a lot of food shelves that people that go out and actually feed the homeless, especially in poor countries, a lot of times is from the Catholic source. The Catholic theology is not simple, monochromatic, but that it really is nuanced, that it's been thought out for 2,000 years, and it's something that we're still thinking out every day. It's static to the extent that we have our central teachings, but it's also dynamic to be able to deal with problems in the world.
And what's something not many people know about Father Dennis?
That's a really good question. I was in the marching band when I was in middle school and in high school in Marshalltown. I played the trombone and I played low bass. Although I do use that as an example in a homily every once in a while. But probably that's something around here people don't know, that I played an instrument at one point in my life.
Is there anything that you would like to talk about or anything you'd like to say to the people listening?
that I'm very excited to be here as a spiritual leader, as a teacher, and that I'm very open to questions. I hope people never feel like you can't approach me and ask a question. I might not be able to answer it as completely or in the way you want me to, just because I'm going to answer it from the Catholic Church's perspective, and sometimes, honestly, I need to do a little bit more research to know it fully. But and sometimes people want an answer we just can't give. And as much as I wish I could answer that, I just can't. But I nonetheless hope you'll still feel like you can approach me and ask the question anyway.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Father. That goes over all the questions we had for you today.
Thanks, Luke. This was a great afternoon.
Yes, I really enjoyed this. And thank you, listeners, for joining in on this week's segment of what we call Meet Marquette. This is your host, Luke Keys, signing off.
Thanks, Luke. And now here's Macy Kramer looking ahead.
Tonight will be the final performance of Marquette's fall production Clue on stage. The show begins at 7. Tomorrow, November 11th, Marquette Student Council will host its annual chicken dinner in Marquette's Trinity Center with serving from 11 to 1:30. On Monday the 12th, junior high girls have a basketball game at Lisbon starting at 4. On Tuesday, there is a high school choir vocal festival at Central City. On Wednesday the 14th, there will be a 1:10 dismissal for professional development. Thursday, there is a home girls junior high basketball game starting at 4. Friday, there will be a mother-son night of fun from 6 to 8 for boys in grades kindergarten through 5th grade and their moms. And on Saturday, there will be a Bellevue Golf Course cleanup. Please contact Ann Jacobs if you are able to help. For Looking Ahead, this has been Macy Kramer.
And speaking of golf, thank you for putting up with us today.
For Marquette in Motion, this has been Hallie Kilberg.
And Miranda Peters.
And remember,
Stay informed.
stay involved.
Stay
In motion.